Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm chilling in the office. Saturday night. It's rainy. NASCAR weekend here. It's quieted down, but earlier we had military jets flying by. They have it's not the Blue Angels, it's similar to it though, and they have organized like an air show type of thing. I think the Blue Angels fly F-16s. Some of you guys are experts on this stuff. These guys are flying something different, but they're still fast, they're loud. These guys really know what they're doing. They fly them close. It looks like, I mean, I'm from the ground up, but it looks like the fucking wings are really close. I don't know how close they actually are, but it looks like they're damn near touching. And they whiz over top real fast and loud that way. And I assume they go miles out over the ocean and turn around somewhere, and then they come flying back this way. And it's loud. And those planes look aggressive. They go fast. So if any of our enemies are here, all these illegal aliens have come to this country, so a lot of them come to Florida. They're getting a little taste. This is what we got. I know you don't got that in your country. But that's what's going on here. Let's talk about witches. What do you guys know about witches? You guys experts on witches? Some of you are. Where are all my witches out there? Witches love me. I mean, like the chicks. Now, let's start off with some terminology. This is how I understand it. People correct me if I'm wrong. A witch can be both a man and a woman. There's female witches and male witches. And then a warlock is also a male witch, but it's something different. It's a different level of male witch. Now, tell me if I got it wrong. You can correct me on how that all works, but that's what I thought it was. But when I say witch, I typically mean just the chicks. Let's just keep it simple. I've known a few witch chicks, and they've been kind of older hippie ladies, and I get along with them great, real well. I got no problem with them at all. They practice what we call white magic. And white magic, if you're from the mountains, you know, like the Appalachian Mountains, you might call it granny magic. Because it'd be like healing magic that your grandma might do. And some of it might just be herbal remedies that she picked up from growing up whenever, or maybe it's a little bit of mixture of some Native American stuff, but some of it may be ritualized and may feel a little Harry Potter-like. But they get down with that, and that's a whole thing. What is it? Wicca is real big. You know, I lived in Santa Cruz. I'll tell you a quick story. In Santa Cruz, California, is known as being like the occult capital. They have more people interested in occult activity and in witchcraft, in Wicca, than anywhere else. And up in those mountains, in the mountains of Santa Cruz, you can find that stuff. And I was always told that on some nights, weekends, hippies will go up there and on a full moon have their rituals, dance around naked or whatever in the woods. You know, who knows? But I was driving my brother home one night. He lived up in the mountains of Santa Cruz. Briefly, not for long. The mountains of Santa Cruz are really beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's worth it. Redwoods, it feels very magical just in the woods themselves. It's like being in a fairy tale. It's so beautiful. And he had this place with some other people. They had a nice place on a big piece of property. We would go out into the woods and shoot our guns, just target practice. I'd set up a picture of Bob Marley, not because I hate Bob Marley, I like Bob Marley. But it was the only poster I had at the time that I felt like I could sacrifice for target practice. So we put the picture of Bob Marley up on the tree and would shoot Bob Marley in his face. I'm sure if anybody else were cruising around back there, they just like thought they were on some kind of KKK compound. But we didn't hate Bob Marley. We liked Bob Marley. But it was many acres that he had up there. It was way up in the mountains. And I would drop him off up there often, go hang out up there and then drive back. And many times driving back, at night, late at night, there'd be a marine layer, like a layer of fog. The whole area is by the beach, so the fog rolls off the beach up into the hills. And it just kind of sits there. And it can be thick, where you can't see shit. So I'm driving down this windy road, back down the mountain. And out of nowhere, these two naked chicks, hippie chicks, real skinny. They looked to me like they were painted in white, but they could have just been really goddamn pale. And their hair was messy. They had dreadlocks, and their hair was all crazy. And they're butt-ass naked. And they run out into the middle of the road, right out in front of my van. I had a Dodge Ram van, cargo van. I had it all set up inside. It was great. I love that van. And I go screeching to a halt. I nearly hit them. I come to a stop, and they're in the middle of the road, just frozen like deer in headlights, in my headlights in my van. And the fog is all around, and they're completely naked. I can see their eyes are just wigged out. And I don't know if they did makeup around their eyes, like black makeup, real thick around their eyes. They may have, but because it looked like to me their whole bodies were painted white, but it looked like their eyes were like solid black, man. And they just sat there butt naked. They looked sexy. And then they ran off. They just scampered off into the woods. And I was a little concerned for their safety, because this is the middle of the fucking woods, man. This is not safe. You know what, you girls are having fun and all that, but I don't know what you're doing out here. Hope no one sees you like this. They ran off. And when I mentioned it to one of my friends the next day, they were like, I told you, there's witches in them hills. But let's talk about black magic. That's far more sinister, spooky. Black magic is about what? Hurting people, basically, fucking people up. It's also about getting what you want, getting rich, getting power, that kind of thing. Interestingly enough, there's been a lot of celebrities who have either been suspected to be into black magic or have admitted to being into black magic. So let's go over a quick little list of them. The most famous, at least in my opinion, and again, I'm no expert in this stuff, but the first person I can think of when I think of black magic, like real black magicians, as an example, no, it isn't Voldemort. It would be Aleister Crowley, a real person. You can look him up. Aleister Crowley. And Ozzy Osbourne. I think it was Ozzy, right? Who sang the song Mr. Crowley? That's Ozzy, huh? I like that song. But Aleister Crowley's a real dude. And he's into black magic, and he had a bunch of celebrity friends, and he had a little cult going, and they would have weird rituals and orgies, and he believed in all kinds of weird, creepy shit. Aleister Crowley. He was real deal. But some of the celebrities, here's one. You may know her. I don't really know who she is, although I did see a picture of her. She looked cute. Lana Del Rey. She's into black magic. How about Beyonce? Now, that's probably not a surprise. You're like, oh, well, of course, Beyonce. Beyonce's into black magic. Jennifer Lopez. Now, that one's a surprise. And I'm a little disappointed on that one. Because isn't Jennifer Lopez married to Ben Affleck? And Ben Affleck, I like Ben Affleck. I thought he was innocent. You know, guy from Boston. Apparently, if he's in with J-Lo, and she's in it, who else? David Bowie was always suspected. He never admitted to it like these others, but he was always suspected to have been into black magic, and he may not have admitted to it, but he talked about it all the time. So he's one of these guys who's obsessed with a topic, and then when you confront him on it, you're like, dude, are you doing this shit? And you're like, no, why would you say that? But yet he's always running his mouth about it. So David Bowie. And then the last one on the list, which wasn't a surprise, there was more on the list, but the last one I'm going to mention was William S. Burroughs, the writer, poet, philosopher. That kind of fits. If you've ever seen an interview with him or anything, yeah, it kind of seems like, I mean, it's believable. I could imagine him being into that crap. I think it's worth staying away from the black magic. But But that's just my opinion. Do what you want. Thanks for watching.